The air in the Michelob Ultra Arena on the evening of October 11, 2025, was not merely air. It was a thick, electric plasma of anticipation, sweat, and legacy. This was Game 5 of the WNBA semifinals, a winner-take-all crucible where seasons were forged into immortality or dissolved into the heartache of what might have been. On one side stood the Las Vegas Aces, the modern-day dynasty, a team built on a bedrock of ruthless efficiency, superstar synergy, and the relentless, methodical will of their leader, Aya Wilson. They were the defending champions, the standard-bearers, playing with the palpable pressure of a legacy in progress, a weight that seemed to settle on their shoulders even during warm-ups, a mantle they both cherished and strained under. Across the hardwood, painted in their vibrant orange and purple, were the Phoenix Mercury, the league's brilliant phoenixes, a team resurrected and redefined by the ageless, volcanic talent of Diana Taurasi, who at 43 continued to defy the tyranny of the calendar and the ferocious, unstoppable force of Brittney Griner in the paint. They were the challengers, the disruptors, playing with the dangerous, unburdened freedom of a team that had been counted out, that thrived on chaos and the explosive, singular moments that can turn a series on its head. The narrative was Shakespearean, the established queen, Aya Wilson, facing the eternal empress, Diana Taurasi, in a final glorious battle for the right to chase a ring. The pre-game atmosphere was a study in contrasts. The Aces, a study in focused, almost solemn intensity, their huddle a closed circle of quiet instruction and steely gazes. The Mercury, a pulsating hub of energy, whoops, and fiery slaps on the back, feeding off the manic confidence of their leader, Taurasi, whose eyes held a familiar, terrifying glint of competitive joy. As the final notes of the national anthem faded, the roar of the sold-out Vegas crowd crested like a wave, a deafening wall of sound that seemed to shake the very foundations of the building. The jump ball was a moment of suspended animation. Wilson and Griner, two of the most dominant physical presences the women's game has ever seen, eyes locked on the official's toss, muscles coiled like springs. The ball arced upwards, and with its ascent, the 2025 season was distilled into the next 40 minutes. From the opening tip, which Wilson flicked deftly to Chelsea Gray, the tempo was established. This would be a war of attrition, a physical, possession-by-possession grind. The Aces' first offensive set was a masterpiece of their system, a series of crisp, purposeful passes, player movement that was almost choreographic, culminating in a Kelsey Plum drive and kick-out to a wide-open Jackie Young in the corner. The shot, pure as desert rain, splashed through the net. It was a statement of intent, discipline, system, execution. The Mercury's response was characteristically explosive. Diana Taurasi, moving with the economy of motion that belied her age, came off a bone-jarring screen from Griner, caught the ball a good 3 feet behind the arc, and without a moment's hesitation, launched a missile that tore through the net, silencing the crowd for a split second before the groans of recognition mixed with the cheers of the traveling Phoenix faithful. That was the Mercury's rebuttal: genius, audacity, the transcendent individual talent that can shatter the most perfectly laid plans. The first quarter unfolded as a tense, tactical duel. Aya Wilson established her dominance early, operating from the high post, hitting a series of unguardable fadeaway jumpers over Griner, each shot a soft, high-arcing kiss off the glass. Her game was one of sublime skill and finesse, a testament to 1,000 hours in a silent gym. For Phoenix, Brittney Griner was an immovable object in the paint, using her colossal wingspan to alter shots and score with a series of powerful drop steps and baby hooks. The battle in the post was a primal, physical chess match, a clash of styles and wills that would define the entire night. Chelsea Gray, the Aces' point guard, was her usual unflappable self, navigating the pick-and-roll with the calm of a surgeon, probing the defense, and finding seams that seemed invisible to everyone else, dishing out assists with preternatural vision. But the Mercury's Sophie Cunningham was a whirlwind of energy, hounding Plum relentlessly, and hitting 2 tough, contested threes to keep Phoenix within striking distance. The quarter ended with the Aces holding a slim, tenuous lead, 24-22, the scoreboard a reflection of the deadlock on the floor. It was a feeling-out process of 2 heavyweight champions, neither willing to cede an inch, each punch met with an immediate, calculated counterpunch. The second quarter began with the bench units taking the stage, and it was here that the first significant crack in the Aces' armor appeared. Led by the dynamic scoring of Mercury guard Sug Sutton and the energetic interior presence of Megan Gustafson, Phoenix went on an 8-0 run in a blistering 2-minute span. Sutton, a blur of speed, got into the lane at will, finishing acrobatic layups and drawing fouls, while Gustafson cleaned up a miss with a putback that forced a timeout from Aces coach Becky Hammon. The Vegas crowd, so raucous moments before, was suddenly muted, a nervous energy replacing the confident roar. This was the danger of the Mercury. They had a depth of scoring that could overwhelm you in waves, and their bench mob was playing with a frenetic, disruptive energy that the Aces' second unit, usually steady, seemed unprepared for. Hammond's timeout was a masterclass in composure. She drew up a simple set to get the ball to Alicia Clark, the veteran leader of the second unit, who calmly drained a corner three to stop the bleeding. It was a shot that spoke of experience, of countless playoff battles, and it seemed to settle the Aces. As the starters began to trickle back in, the game regained its structured, physical form. Aya Wilson re-entered and immediately went to work, drawing a double team and finding a cutting Kelsey Plum for a layup. The next possession, weaving through three defenders for a miraculous, contorting layup high off the glass. But Diana Taurasi would not let her team fade. With under a minute to go in the half, she executed a play that was pure basketball poetry. She drove hard to the right, drawing two defenders, and at the last possible moment, whipped a no-look, behind-the-back pass to a cutting Brittany Griner for a thunderous two-handed dunk that sent a shockwave through the arena. It was a moment of sheer, unadulterated brilliance, a reminder that while Wilson was the present, Taurasi was a living, breathing legend whose genius could still take your breath away. The half ended with Phoenix clinging to a one-point lead, 48-47. The locker rooms beckoned, 12 minutes of respite and adjustment in a game where every single possession felt like a lifetime. The halftime break in a game of this magnitude is not a rest. It is a tense, strategic interlude where whiteboards are filled, adjustments are demanded, and the psychological battle is waged as fiercely as the physical one. In the Aces locker room, Becky Hammond's voice was calm but pointed. The message was clear. They were allowing Phoenix too many easy baskets in transition and were getting beaten to 50-50 balls. They needed to recommit to their defensive identity, to make every Mercury possession a struggle. "One possession at a time," she reiterated, her voice cutting through the heavy breathing and the